All right. What's going on, party people? This is your man Grill, having a wonderful, wonderful time here. So today we're going to talk about the US Patriot Act. Okay, the US Patriot Act, and that form, as I've learned over the years, is giving a lot of people problems. It's a very simple form, but if you don't understand it or you haven't been shown how to properly deal with it, you can mess it up. Some people get intimidated by it and they make some small mistakes that can cause them honestly to get blacklisted. Okay. I've made mistakes on it, and I'm here to help you understand it. Now, the weird thing about the US Patriot Act, similar to the right to cancel, there's different formats. At the end of the day, it's all asking for the same thing, some type of ID. But if you don't understand or pay attention to the formatting, it can really, really throw you off. So you have to do that. Now, what I want to start off with is showing y'all again instructions. Okay. Instructions are very important. And here we have a set of instructions that clearly tells us what they want us to do. Now, what's important to understand about these instructions is right here, this section right here. Okay, so let's start at the top and then we'll go back down to that. All signings must be scheduled to make same day pickup so that title can receive docs the next day, the next business day. If this cannot be done, we done we must be notified immediately. So if for some reason they ask you to do a signing and it's at a time that you can't get to do the same day pickup, then you really got to let them know. So because keep in mind, they don't know what the FedEx schedules are in our area. Okay, they don't. Go down, there we go, that's better. They don't know, so we have to be very, very mindful of that and let them know that, hey, okay, thank you, you got me doing this at 6:30. I'm not going to make the same day pickup. They need to be informed of that. But then here, this is very important, this part is circled. The package must be printed on the correct paper size, letter and legal, no exceptions. Also, a copy of the signing package must be printed for the signers. So this thing that y'all keep running behind of people saying you don't have to print letter and legal. If the instructions specifically tell you to, then you must do it. If your instructions do not, take the time out and ask them. Do not call anybody at all asking them, should you print in letter and legal? That is not something that you should be calling me or anybody else about. You need to contact the people who are paying you and find out what they want. Okay. That's who you need to contact. You can call me if you want, but all I'm going to do is tell you contact the people that's paying you because they're the ones who set the rules on how they would like these signings done. And then it goes on to says, if you cannot do this successfully, you must advise immediately to reassign. That ain't really worded correctly. It should be you must advise us immediately to reassign. So in other words, they're going to reassign it. If you cannot, especially this part here, if you can't do this, you need to let them know so they can reassign it. You must have ample toner and the print quality must be good. Failure to do any of the above requirements will result in non-payment for this signing. So you're not going to get paid. That's just the bottom line. Okay. So you need to understand that following the rules that they lay out for you are very, very important. If you're unwilling to follow the rules, boom, and stuff. And oh, I started off and I forgot to say thanks to everybody for being here, just liking, sharing, all of that. That's sometimes the last thing on my mind. I'm always thinking about just getting in here and start running my mouth and teaching y'all. But thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, all of that. And I really do appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Thank you very, very much. And I would love to hear your comments in the hear what you got to say in the comments below. I do read my comments, okay? I do read my comments, period. All right. So now the US Patriot Act. This document, let's zoom in, it comes in two flavors. You will either see it called the US Patriot Act or customer identification verification. Those are the two main names that you will see this document in. Additionally, it's either going to be one or two forms of ID. Let me correct that right on the fly. One or two forms of ID. Okay. We fill this out. We are the ones who fill this out, not the borrower. The borrower does not fill this out. We fill this out. Okay. Period. And unless something changed, my last instructions were, and I've been following it for a couple of years now, really the whole time, no picture of military ID. We do not take a picture of their military ID. Okay. So that is not something that we're supposed to be doing. So don't do it. Now, if it's in question, you can always reach out to somebody at the signing company or title office to get your answer. All right. So with the US Patriot Act, and in this case, this one is called the Customer Identification Verification. And it says important information about procedures for opening new accounts. So what you have to understand is that this is about when a person is opening a new account, this form has to be done. Okay. Period. So it's excuse me. So it says here at the top, starting here, to help the government fight the funding of terrorism and money laundering activities, federal law requires all financial institutions to obtain, verify, and record information that identifies each person who opens a new account, who opens an account. What this means for you: when you open an account, we will ask for your name, address, birthday, and other information that will allow us to identify you. We may also ask to see your driver's license or other identifying documents. Instructions to individual completing this verification. That means us. That is to us. So the top part is to the customer. So let's just put a C here. Customer, and then here in for notary. So this is for them. This is for us. Now, if they choose to read it, that's fine. That's on them. But this is for us. So the person who's the individual completing this verification, the named individual must present at least two forms of identification for review. At least one of the identifying document must be a government issue ID bearing a photo of the. Just need to take that down. You know, still a little too thick. Um, there we go. Yeah. So it got to be a government issue ID. Yeah, that's better. Bearing a photo of the named individual. So it needs to have a photo of this person right here. Okay. You got to have it has to have a photo of them. Okay. Examples of others include, and then it says individual other identifying documents may specifically be listed below at minimum. bear the individual name, and then it gives you a bunch of examples. So, so a lot of times people pull out that second form of ID as a military ID. You can tell them, depending on how old they are, Medicaid card, student, um, right here. I was looking for my highlighter. Forgot to pull that up. Here it is. So you got the student identification card, voter registration card, um, recent property tax bill or utility bill, W-2 or signed federal state returns, bank statements, any kind of insurance, so forth and so on. So you have those options. And in some cases, if they need a picture of it, you may have to take a picture off of their phone in order to send back. Okay. So in completing this, we know in this case, this is a residential. So my bad, y'all. I'm still trying to get used to this thing here. Mm, 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 mm. Trying to, I'm gonna just go back to the old fashioned X. All right. So residential, then we put in the state, the ID. Let's see. Gotta make that a little bit thicker. All right. So their ID, place of issue, it could be Virginia or wherever the place is. Okay. Their ID number, birthday, all of that. Photo, yes. Then in this case, it wants two. Now, with the military ID, even though you don't take a picture of it, you can still put down all the pertinent information and then you select no, I did not take a picture of it. That's all you got to do. Okay. Or you can select one of these others here, and then you can also include something that might not be on the list. Sometimes a lot of people present their concealed carry permit. So you can use that. Okay. AARP card, like I said before, all kinds of school ID. I've worked with people, done closing for people who are sheriffs. They break out a special sheriff ID badge, card or something. You can use any of that, okay? As long as it has a good, their name on it, that can be used as a secondary form of ID. All right. Now, here's the thing. So I got to learn how to clear this. Y'all bear with me one moment. Nope, I ain't gonna worry about it. All right. I forgot to figure out how to just clear all in this here. So I'll figure that out later for the next go round. So one of the things you're getting ready to see now is that this here, so y'all pay attention, look at the layout. Let me get on the side here. Look at the layout of this here. Okay. Customer identification verification, information about it for them, information there for us, name, birth. Um, Normally here will be, I don't know why I put that there, but that will be their address. I don't know why I did that. Not thinking. Not thinking. Um, we'll do that. So business address, that's normally their address there. Residential or business address, that's the address. Social security number, all these stuff here is fake stuff I made up. So you see the format of it. This is the format of this one. Okay, then down here, are there any additional comments? Were there any discrepancies of the borrower's, like it was torn or things of that nature? It was a driver's license that was valid, but it was split in half and things of that nature. So you put down information here that can help um clarify things for whoever is receiving it. Then this here is you. This here is again the notary. This here is the notary. And of course, this is the notary. But it says here, I, the undersigned, hereby certify that you have personally examined the documents and that you have accurately recorded the information, which means you recorded it in the area up here. You recorded it up here. And then it goes on and says that you've examined it, except for anything indicated above, each of the identifying documents appear to be genuine, so forth and so on. And then you sign, date, you print your name here, you print your name here, and title. Now this becomes very, very controversial for some people. I put notary. Okay, let me come to y'all for a second. Okay. I put notary. If you call the NNA, they're going to say put signing agent because in California they have a rule that or law that says that if they're signing their name and putting a title that and they're not notarizing that document, then they have to put signing agent. I don't see that for Virginia. Okay, so I put notary. Okay, because that is my title. If I wasn't NNA certified and I was working in the title office, the question is, am I looked at as a signing agent in a title office when I'm operating as a notary? Maybe, maybe not. But nonetheless, the title of the person who's doing it, I'm actually a notary. Some people say put NSA, some people say put LSA. That is going to be up to you. Okay. I have no dog in the fight. I just put notary. I do know if you don't put something there, some type of title, they will hit you back up a lot of times and ask you, hey, you need to redo that picture. I can send it in to us. And it's like, okay, or one person asked, you know, asked me, how long would, they'll ask you like, how long will it take and all that kind of stuff. So you need to get that done. Okay. So let's continue on. So this here, same one. This looks a little different. Now, the difference with this one is everything is on the same page. The first one was on 2 pages. This one is on 1 page. And you got to put in 2 forms of ID, all of that. Okay. Now you're getting into something that's called the US Patriot Act right here. Okay. Borrower's identification. And the same thing, help the government fight against money laundering for terrorism, all of that. We got to identify you. And then for them, it says we require a minimum of 1 form of ID for each borrower to comply with Section 326 of the Act. Meaning there's this thing called Section 326 for the US Patriot Act. And in order for them to be in compliance with it, you need to provide for them at least 1 form of ID. And it has to be unexpired, government issued, evidence, residence, or national, and contain a photo. Okay, so I need to zoom that in a little bit. My bad, y'all. Let me come down. There we go. That's better. That's better. Let's try this. All right. So in this regard, they only want 1 form. We have a minimum requirement of 1. So I would just use something from here, nothing down here, call it a day. They get this, They fill out that. I fill out that, fill out that, fill out that. And then boom. Signature, date, printed name, and then title. Okay. And then you put your title. That's going to be up again up to you. So this is a one pager. Now this one, in this case, they require two forms in order to comply with section 1. So the first one said in order to comply with this here, in order to comply with this, they want one. Now you go down to this one, they want two. So you get one from here, and then you get one from this list here. Again, first thing a lot of them want to do is bring you the military ID. You tell them, and what I do is I actually, let me come back to y'all for a second. What I actually do is show them the form. I say, I need one from here and one from there. One from this part, one from that part. And for some people, they still don't get it. And they come back with a passport, a military ID, and driver license, which is all in the first section. You have to be very, very clear and direct. It has to be one from each section. Let's see, second, each section. Okay. And once you get that, then you're good to go. Some people have stuff, some people don't, but it's like, I know you got a utility bill or something, bank statement, what have you. That's what they want. And then you fill this out accordingly. You do your signature, date, printed name, and then title. Okay. So this one requires two. Both of them look just the same. Now, as you starting to see here, there's different formats of this here. So this one clearly tells you one form. You get the one form, you go boom, 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 and then do your thing down here. It's that simple. That's why I said this is very, very easy. This just when you look at it, the forms are laid out a little bit different, but what we need to do is the same. Now, of note, when you have a non-borrowing spouse, and I meant to put an example in here and I forgot, but sometimes when the spouse is not borrowing any money, they won't put her social or his social or date of birth. So you have to watch out for that. If you get a signing and the person, because sometimes they don't include a Patriot Act for the spouse, but if they do, you need to make sure all of that information is properly filled in. Sometimes they don't even put the address for that person. So you need to make sure you have all of that stuff together. Here's a little bit different format. It's basically saying the same thing. In this case, again, they want two forms. All of that. You just provide them with everything that they need. Driver's license, do your thing here. They're looking for freedom. I'm sorry. I'm thinking something else. Something popped in my head, a movie, and I don't know what I was thinking. And I'm a little tired too. It's a little bit late at night. So, I don't know what I was thinking. Fighting terrorism free. I don't know, but this is what they're looking for. They want you to give them two forms of ID, and then you give them the second one. Sometimes I try to get the utility bill, and surprisingly enough, a lot of people don't have their social security card, so I don't trip over that. But if I can get a utility bill from them or organizational membership card, which is AARP, stuff like that, AAA, that's what I go with. Okay. And then, I forgot to put the second page on here. Now, getting to the end, y'all. Now, with this, and this is something that I recently learned from Laura Brewer. This here, let me highlight that. Where's my highlight? This here, this is the red flag. It wants us to put our name there. Okay. They want us to put our name here. Okay. Okay. That's what they want us to do. They want us to put our name there, but our name can't go there because we cannot duly swear our own selves in. Okay. It's asking, saying that now comes John Jones being being duly sworn and and deposes who swore us in. That's the way Lord taught it. Who swore us in? And I was like, you know what? You're right. And I don't know why I missed that. I missed that. We didn't get sworn in. So it would be best that you don't put your name there. I don't know if you can lining out helps or hurts the cause. I don't know. And then you fill out their driver's license info and all of that. Now, this isn't the Patriot Act, but sometimes you will see a document like this in there in place of the Patriot Act. Why, I don't know. But you fill out all that information for however many borrower and co-borrowers there are. You don't necessarily need to be lining through. I know a lot of notaries, especially, some that's in America, but the first thing they're doing is all of this and all of that. You don't have to do that. Now, if you have a strong urge to do it, then I would advise you to contact the title company. Then you sign, boom, and you're good to go. This one, man, this one is somewhat unique. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to get my back scratching. I know this ain't proper YouTube etiquette, but my back was itching for a second there. All right, that's good. So we're gonna go through this here. We're gonna go through this one. So now in this one, I'm gonna have to zoom back in. This one is a little strange to me, and I'm explaining to you why. Because this, I don't know what in the heck going on with okay. This whole section here, all of this, I don't know what in the world is going on with my thing. All right. This whole section here, when you look at this here, when you read it, it reads as if it's for the notary. Okay. But it really isn't. Okay. So it says here, notice to notary, but then it says, please take notice along with your documents to have them. Please take this notice along with your documents to have it signed, witnessed, and notarized. Be sure to bring with you forms of government ID, photo, and all of that. You must provide the identification to the notary, even if you personally know them. So you can't just use "I know you" and call it a day. No, a copy of your identification must be sent back to blank, blank, blank with your forms once they're notarized. We do not accept your documents if a copy of your identification has not been sent back with them. So when you read this, this first part is for the signers. It's like telling them take this here paper with you when you go see the notary. Even though it says notice to notary, that's the part that can throw some people off. And then it talks about the acceptable IDs. Then it goes on and says, the state of Florida requires documents to be signed in front of a notary and two separate witnesses. Your witnesses may not be parties of it, so forth and so on. Then they have a section down here to the notary. So we will print the witness's name here. You print their name here, print their name there. And then here's the part for us, the notary, and it says, I, the undersigned notary public in and for such and such and such and such, do hereby swear that the attachment acknowledges being this date was basically proof of the ID, and you sign it or print your name, sign it, your commission expiration. Now you got seal here. You got seal. Do not, do not, do not stamp. And the reason why you are not stamping is because there's no signature on here that you're notarizing. And this here is not notarial language to notarize the signature of a person. So, in the story, okay? There's really not much more to explain. When you look at this here, it's talking about that you just hereby describe. It's talking about you. It didn't say anything about the foregoing instrument was acknowledged or the foregoing instrument was, it was sworn and subscribed. None of that. It doesn't say any of that. So this here has nothing to do with notarizing anything. So that's why you don't put your stamp there. And then your contact information and all of that. Then lastly, one of my famous documents, or I mean favorite documents, really not really. I mean not really. But this here, you you fill out one for each person, you fill out the information accordingly. But here's the thing. It's going to ask you for your notary information. You provide it. Then it's going to ask for your signature and your stamp. And again, there's nothing that they are signing on here. So you cannot notarize this document because there's no signature outside of your own that you can actually notarize. And you don't just put it on here for good measure, stamping and crossing out. From what the NNA told me, that doesn't invalidate the stamp because you're still stamping. So for that microsecond before you line through it, it was a valid stamp that you put on a document that had no signatures and it did not have the proper notarial statement for you to use. So when you look at this saying that you acknowledge that the identification as stated above was provided to you at the time the borrower and the co-borrower and or co-borrower executed these documents for a real estate transaction. And important here, it says what? I have not provided the borrower co-borrower with advice, counsel, or an opinion concerning the content of the documents executed. So again, let me come back to y'all for a second. So again, it's telling us we ain't supposed to be saying nothing about these documents. Okay. We are not supposed to be running our mouths about the documents, but people keep telling you you need to. And I'm just going to keep telling you you don't. And if anybody says that I'm incorrect, then please provide proof that of that case. Okay. Maybe it might be an isolated incident out there, but from my understanding, and this here says that we didn't give advice, counsel, or an opinion concerning these documents, and that's the way it's supposed to be. All right. Then it goes on and says you need the signature and errors and omissions insurance. And oh, I forgot about this one. I forgot about this one. Now, this is unique. This one is unique. The the signers fill out all of this, and it says here, sign in the presence of a notary. Okay. So they fill this out and they sign it. And then here's where we come in to say, I here certify that on this blank day, person and period, these people, dot, 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 whatever ID, boom, boom, boom. And then down here, this is where you notarize the document, okay? Because they signed it. They signed it. And hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm thinking something. I told y'all I'm a little tired, y'all. Yeah, so this here isn't necessarily this isn't the proper notarial language. So in this case, you will add your own, you can add your own notarial acknowledgement, because the language here isn't proper. This is about certification. That's what I meant to say. I told y'all I'm tired. This here is about certification. This doesn't say anything about them acknowledging or any of that. So what I would do is add in my own notarial acknowledgement and fill that out in place of this, because it doesn't even have your venue. So it doesn't have your venue on here, your state of, county of, any of that. So I would add my own notarial certificate to this document, and that would be perfectly legal. That's what I meant to say, y'all. My apologies. Told you I'm a little tired. So run this back. Not super exciting. Um, for is the way I shared this. I'm just trying to just give it to you straight. That's all. Just trying to give it to you straight. Probably gonna have to go back and look at this over again. If there's anything that you feel that I did not clarify, and again, like I said, I'm a little tired, so it's past midnight when I'm recording this. Just drop a comment in, just say it in the comment section. Put a comment in the comment section. I will read it. If I need to come back and do a clarification video, I will. Okay. And even in my mind right now, I feel like I want to stop and redo this whole video, but I'm not. Okay. I'm not, because I got documents I got to prepare for tomorrow. I got 3 sets of documents I got to prep, and I'm not. So I think I hit the gist of everything. I think y'all understand it. That the US Patriot Act form comes in variety of different formats. One or two, um, one or two forms of ID. The notary fills it out. No picture of the military ID, and you will be fine. Okay. This is our responsibility. We go, we knock it out, and we keep going. For as the title, that'll be on you. LSA, NSA, NNA, whatever you want to put, that is going to be completely up to you. All right. So thank you very much. This is also some of the kind of stuff that we go over. A little more detail advanced, but some of the stuff we go over in the notary success system when you do the face-to-face training with me, to help you to understand what to do at that table, to make sure you understand that you have to fill out the US Patriot Act form. That is your responsibility, not the signers. Okay. Do not give the document to them to fill out. This is your responsibility. And I forgot to mention, but I'll say it now. This here isn't something about, um, hold on. One thing that y'all need to understand, and I meant to say this earlier, we do not notarize this. Now, do they come with a notarial area? Every now and then they do, and they want the signers to sign it. And the reason why they do that is because we aren't doing it. So this is their way of making sure that we fill that document out. By filling it out and then having a signer sign it, we notarize it. I do not like those type. I do not like them whatsoever. But they're doing that because too many of us notaries have what? Not filled that document out. All right. So thank y'all very much for your time. I hope everything was clear. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below and I will answer you back. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace.